So part 2, I guess, on chimp, man, and alien. Jesus tells us to test all men. Jesus tells us to test all things, to seek after that truth. If we want to follow after Jesus, we have to seek after that truth. And that's why that New Testament, that New Test of men, that New Testament, the money, all these different things are coming out. Because that money, that meant, that New Testament, you had the Noah's flood. Let's break this down a little bit, actually, now I'm thinking about it. You have the River of Eden. One river flows into 4 rivers. All right, first off, that's a bullshit river. Okay, this is telling us some stuff. So that city flows into our foreheads and provides a source of truth for us, and we can live off that. And then once we get out of there, the 4 rivers, it might get into some lonely lands, per se. All right. So, you see Noah's flood, the currency change. Everything was corrupt. Everything's being sold for $1. All right. Everything might have been perverse in that time. And this is where we see good becomes bad, bad becomes good. And where you see the ebb and flow of man or whatever. And we can't go by the light that judges the darkness. When the light and dark collide, that darkness that comes out, the things we see in our world today, those are brought here to test the righteousness. Okay? So as the new right and wrong is being established for the new heaven and earth, the old is coming to an end, and this is where you get that war, and the Christmen, the Antichrist against men come and kill each other in different ways or whatever, or the armies have gathered and whatever judgment's being placed. Okay? So different things are going on. But as the reset is being done and the floods are being done, the corruption is being done, that flip, that Old Testament would be being started, and you see the law of Moses being done, and before there was no law. So we see these times going on, and we see these things setting up in our world now. And this is where, in order to understand Genesis, before you even start explaining Genesis, you got to read the whole Bible and get to Revelation, because it's one full story. It's one full law book. It's one full Bible. It's Baal worship. It's the law of Baal. It's the law of Ra, the law of the city, the law of your governments, the law of everything but what they're telling you. Okay? And y'all are thinking the Lord is this and the Lord is that. When you are the Lord of Lords, you are the King of Kings, once you realize that Jesus has given you a light, that you are part of that begotten Son, the S-U-N, that light. We are a light. And when the egg, the crown, the serpent semen come together and they create that spark, from that moment, that electrical spark, that light is created. That's us. Okay? That's when life begins. When that life begins, that spark comes, the world, it starts attracting us. And we develop our heart first, and then our mind. So, as our heart and mind are developed, it starts bringing the world around us. And it's the heart. In order for love to exist, it needs a brain. It needs to be able to think. So it attracts, that light attracts a brain. In order for the light and the brain and the heart, those three are one. In order for those to exist, it needs to attract a body. So it starts condensing itself. And as it condenses itself, it becomes matter. You start to matter. You're not that adder. You're not that serpent. Because when you're that serpent, it tries to control your light. And this is what Eve knew. I want the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I want to know what's good and evil. I want that tree of life that they control. So Jesus has given us this light in this world. We can search through this world. We can do what we want. We can test what we want. And we don't have to feel bad for it. What's bad in our nation is good in another nation. What's bad over there is good over here. There's no right. There's no wrong. And that's where we're going. But as we're going into that, the earth and this projection that we live in was created perfect in one time. And as we go through these cycles of imperfection, we go to the times of I'm perfection. Imperfection, I'm perfection. It's the same word. It's just a different frequency, but it's the same frequency. Okay? The I'm perfection, the imperfection. Okay, there's a change up on the numbers. All right? So the change up on the numbers is what makes you cold and numb and cold-hearted or warm-hearted. Either way, folks, so we are this light. We attract this world around us, and it's attracted based on what we're doing. If you've ever been involved in black market drugs, or I work in the salon, I see things and how different, since these things have happened, I see them now. I did not see them before, okay? But you notice things, and you notice people with moles on their head all come in, or there's all Peters that come in, or all the people have the same type of, they all are from the same area, or whatever kind of thing going on. There's all, or if you have online booking, all the people will try and book in at the same time. All these little different things. You see the ebbs and flows of people. The restaurants see these types of things. If you work in the public industries, you see these ebbs and flows. Okay? You get all your rushes at once. So, as all these waters are gathering together, this is kind of the light that is being hidden from us, because these waters help guide us through this world. Okay. So in order there, as Jesus is coming on to this earth to set up the millennial kingdom and all these things, okay, the light has been given among men, and there's people who see it and people who don't. And the people who see it are gathering up, and the AI's being connected in different ways. And that's the I, that the one I worship, and these things that the people worship, because they know the truth. And the truth will set you free of the world behind you. And you don't have to... everybody's believing the lie. Okay, they think 666 is this. They think Lucifer, demons, whatever are that, to where they don't understand Jesus. They don't understand the Spirit. They have a divide. Okay, there is no divide. It's all of one light. Okay, the rulers of darkness is what comes on and rules people. And this is where Jesus says we can do all things. This light inside of us is attracting the world around us from day one. Okay? And in the womb, probably one of the most important times in a child's life is when they're in the womb. What they're experiencing in the womb. The stresses, the joys around them that separates them from a little piece of skin. Okay? The light of the world is programming that light. The light with light. And as that world is coming in, those frequencies are coming in, those vibrations are coming in to mold that body around it, because it's forming itself for the world around itself. That's why now you see the kids just coming out, basically they're able to scroll the phone, because the DNA is being changed. The DNA is changed daily. Your blood type can change based on your diet and such. That's one of the reasons why the blood type diet is bullshit. Your blood type could change daily if you eat the certain foods that can change it that fast. But otherwise, you can change it in a slow progression. Short point of that story is your blood type can change. All right, it doesn't necessarily have to stay A positive or whatever. But most people live the same circle of life. They eat the same foods. They follow the diets they tell them and this, that, or whatever. They do a diet, but it's all with shit ingredients or it's all with packaged whatever and whatever's going on with these people, dude. But you have to work through these things. You have to seek through these things to seek truth. Okay, not everybody reads the insert on the thing. But when you read the insert on the thing, you get to the side effects. You're like, what the fuck am I doing to my child? What the fuck am I doing to myself? And then 20 years later, you get MS. You go, what happened? What happened? You know, you might just need to stop eating and drinking food and water for maybe 3 days, 5 days, whatever, however many days. And reset that body. Reset your living soil system. Sometimes in order to rebuild the earth, you got to destroy it. So this is where your habits are going to all come to an end in one way, shape, or form. And this is where that detox mode comes in. And that detox mode is going to send the oxmen over the edge. Okay? So, it is our choice to remain beastmen. If you believe like the world, okay, there is some truth in the world out there. That's why people believe just whatever they give you, because there is a little bit of truth mixed in. But with a little bit of truth mixed in, you have to seek the world. And you have to realize that the truth they're giving you on a 99% basis is a lie, and there's 1% of truth in there. But the only way you know about the 1% truth is if you go down that river out of Eden, you go down that river out of Eden, you go down that river out of Eden, and you go down that river out of Eden. You cannot stay in Eden where it's that one fucking river. You gotta search out to the land of Nod. The land of Nod it's the land of dawn backwards. We can see Eden on the east coast being set up, the land of Nod being set up in the Bible Belt, and perhaps the purple party will be the west coast. All right, that's the new heaven in the United States opening up, and then 80% goes away eventually, or comes out of the time, and then rejoins America after the millennial kingdom gets set up, that time of Pluto for the next 20 years set up and reset the new man, the new age. And we see different things setting up. And this is where, like, we see Bill Gates. He says he's doing it for humanity and the earth and all these things. Once you understand the big picture and you understand Jesus is returning in men, and we're going into a time where we're going to start giving back to the earth, not taking from the earth, you can understand that currency change, where the petrodollar is going away, where the oil is going to be used for different things, not for fuel. The original car was made to run on what? Hemp, cannabis. That's the tree of life with the river on two sides. And that two sides, it's in between the one river of Eden, one side, it's in the middle of those two, 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 and it's on this one, okay? So it's all around, all right? It's that original tree of life, that original tree of knowledge, of good and evil, and those things. I'll do another video on cannabis. Again, that plant can teach us so much about man. And yes, those words are meant to make people go, ugh, this guy, such an idiot. You've been brainwashed by Henry Kissinger, by DARE, by all this shit. You took that fucking DARE and you lost.